All right, we're up.
You really think Harambe deserved that?
Coming on, Dan? Oh, did I? I don't have you disabled.
Yeah. Sorry. No, it's me.
All right.
Weird opinions, man.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Podcast is up. Good evening, y'all. Got my bubble tea for the night. Keep me up. Fresh baked cookies. Yes?
Yeah.
Tres cookies. Biscuit. I forget how to say cookies.
Cookies. Nom 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 nom.
En español, por favor. There we go.
Nom 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 nom. I mean, el nom 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 nom. You know, soy nom 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 nom.
I think it's working. Uh-oh. Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. Test. Oh, okay. I think it's good. Anybody want to check?
Chat?
I can check. Live now.
Chat, you there?
It's huge.
I got you.
New Sans.
Okay.
It still says you're offline.
Oh, what? I just went.
I have live now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm on Twitch. My bad.
Oh. Get with it, bruh.
Come on, Danny. Come on.
Defining French. I'm kidding. Jamie, pull it up. Pull it up.
Danny.
What's a friend? Okay.
I am friendship.
So I figure, every 5, because FJ5 is gonna be like the mukbang chill. So everything in between though is gonna be more like serious, intelligent matters.
Oh no! I don't have intelligence.
Do you want to start off with the run?
No,
The run
it's
results?
embarrassing.
No, is it?
It hurt.
Yeah.
Dude, I put mine in last minute, like 10 minutes ago.
Solid.
I
Yeah.
should have done just a bit more.
Oh no.
I had 3K to put up, but.
Oh, you can still add 3? I cannot add anymore.
I
Do
technically can.
Can you?
it.
No,
What
for
is
real.
What is 1.95 miles to kilometers?
Is it times?
3.1. Here, I'll just throw it in. 3.14.
Pi.
I ran pi kilometers today.
Yeah.
We did it.
Dude. That 3 was what we needed. We were at just over 77. Here, I'll put it up.
Pull it up.
Put it up, Danny.
Danny, put up. You're featured right now.
80.2.
Look at that. Look at that luscious beard.
Jeez, 80.2.
So our goal was 80?
Our goal was 80, and we just barely got it.
Nice. Good job, guys. We did it.
Really? Was that really a good job?
Yeah. We hit the goal.
As a team, very good. I am hurt, that's why.
If I didn't get lost, we would not
Here
have
we
hit
go.
the goal.
Yeah, we did it. As you can
Oh.
see here to this side here, we got the goal.
Scroll
Why
down.
do you have
Scroll
your
down.
emails up?
Yeah.
Emails?
Just kidding.
I was like, what? So yeah,
Troll.
so we just hit it. 80.2. Hold on.
How much
Dope.
participation?
Yay.
Just
Not
Good
enough.
job.
4?
Good job.
So same goal next week.
Same goal next week.
I'm good with that.
Oh man, it was rough. I was pushing on that bike.
Never know. Maybe DayDay's doing something right now.
Maybe.
Or maybe
We
not.
did
Maybe don't count on it.
So yeah, same goal. 100% we hit. So we're shooting for 80 again.
Cool.
We'll see. I don't know. We should maybe talk to some of the other people.
Some
see
of
if they
them?
still want to be in. Yeah.
If they're still in.
Nothing wrong if they aren't, but if goals are
Mhm.
going up, it means the participators do have to keep pushing, and I do like that part. All right.
I'm trying to get up every week. So
Freaking, my mom just called. She's like, Warren, what are you doing?
Oh,
I'm
you
like-
gotta take that, man.
I can hear FJ and Dan in the background. You're watching us, you loser.
Hi,
Hi,
Tita.
Tita.
Like, I don't want to take this call, but what if it's important? No, it's not important.
Oh, that's funny. All
Frick.
right, let's get that out of there.
Thank you for that, Deanie.
That's what I'm here for.
So, this week's
Hello,
topic.
friends.
Hello, friends. This week's topic is defining friendships. First, we're gonna dabble a little bit in like the degrees of friendship, how deep you can develop a friendship with someone, from like acquaintance, I guess, classmate, workmates, to actual like friends that you hang out with, and then close friends, best friends, and then family, kind of like, what do you call them, brothers, like these guys.
Mhm.
And then we'll get into conflict resolution afterwards when DayDay's here, because he'll have such in-depth contributions for that. But yeah,
Wait, is he the type to get into like conflict with people?
I just thought before when I mentioned it with conflicts, I thought it would just be cool, conflict resolution, how we deal with conflict. But I think it's cool in the sense of like, I'm interested to know how you guys treat friends differently compared to like your office coworker or like a customer or a client. Like, do we take more liberty with friends? Do we take less? Are we more careful or are we less careful? You know what I mean? Things like that. Well, we can get into that. I have some good questions I've been stirring
I
up.
haven't thought about any of this yet.
Yeah, you'll be on the spot.
I couldn't even define friends. I couldn't even say this is what a friend is because I more or less treat everybody the same. I just talk to you guys more often.
Really? It's just a time quantity thing with us? I'm offended.
No, it's not a time thing. I'd like to think that I would have more of an emotional attachment to you guys than any kind of like person that I typically talk to on a normal basis. There would be more emotional attachment to you guys than my students.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would still consider a lot of students that I have taught in the past friends, even if I've known them for, maybe a day or I talk to them once a year. Friends.
Okay. So what's a friend?
Is there? Yeah, no, I don't know. Is there an actual definition? Do I need to
Danny, you want to pull it up?
rethink?
All I know is life with friends, or life is better with friends.
Is it?
Colon, close bracket. Dan, would you like to define
So-
friendship?
Define friendship? I don't know. I guess we all have a different viewpoint. I think as a concept, it's kind of like the concept of love. Like I think we all have different levels and different definitions. Yeah, I guess it depends on are we talking about just friendship in general, or do you want to talk about like when you feel that there's that close bond of, you know, brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever.
Let's take it in the process of becoming a closer and closer friend. So from meeting someone for the first time, you would just gauge that as an acquaintance, right? Meeting someone
Yeah.
for the first time. What?
I laugh because once I know your name, you're a homie.
Like serious though, right? Like
Yeah,
you treat
as
everyone the
soon as I
same.
know-
So like you
As
learn
soon
the
as I
guy's.
know your name, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I know your name and maybe a little background, I'm like, you're a homie. I got you. I
Okay.
think the difference would be when it turns into that brotherhood kind of like relationship that we have.
But
And
okay.
there's a little more experiences behind what we've kind of encountered together.
Okay. So you got acquaintance, homie, but that generic version of a homie. And then what does it take? Like what needs to happen for them to be like, hey, this person means more than that. This person's opinion maybe matters now. Like what happens? Like what's needed for that to happen?
I don't know. For me, it's not an event. It's more of just an understanding or a feeling, I think. There are
Yeah,
definitely
you don't really agree on it. Like it's no verbal communication of like, hey, we're friends
yeah.
now. Generally.
Yeah, I think I think there's definitely events that can spur um, like a closer
feeling.
bond. Yeah, but I don't think there's like a defining like if this happens, that means we're close. Because if I were to think about like the relationship between the Brack guys, like I think we all have, for me anyway, different points of how we got to that close friendship. For me, and it's hard for me to define like it was this time because I don't really know. It was like, oh yeah, there was a change somewhere along, but I wouldn't be able to pinpoint exactly when. But that's how I see it.
Or
I kind of feel that too. It's more like it's a vibe that comes along at some point, not necessarily shorter term, longer term. Like it's something that just happens organically. So one example I have here in Lloyd is I met this one guy. We've probably hung out 3 times in the last 9 years. That I've been here for like 9 years. It's been a while. But anyways, we've hung out maybe
Wow.
3 times. This is the guy that I did that whole like ultra marathon or that run with, that backyard ultra.
Right.
We don't hang out often, but I consider him a brother just because there's that level of understanding, and there's just like this sense of love every time we hang out or every time like we converse or interact. Like it's weird like that. It's kind of the same feeling I have with you guys. Like there was that whole time like I would only hang out or talk to you guys whenever I came back. Yeah, it really just turns into, oh yeah, it's a vibe. We understand each other on that level without even really needing a whole lot of conversation or interaction.
Okay, let's wait for DayDay to populate. I have questions for you guys.
Sure. Well, I guess before you start asking, like, did you see it as an event? Like, what was your point of view at?
Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
Dodge.
No, not
Your
dodge.
question.
No,
Sorry.
it's because
Back and forth.
I think the questions that I'm gonna ask kind of illustrate how you guys became that, or like anyone. So DayDay, welcome.
Hi. Sorry I'm late.
It's cool. It's okay. You were running, right?
No.
Just straight up. No.
Okay, so yeah, we're just talking about to catch up. We kind of briefly described how we make friends. Warren, right away, as soon as he knows your name, you're a homie. But we've discovered that I guess with more time spent together, shared experiences. It's not a verbal agreement or anything, but there's a level of understanding, some kind of feeling inside where you're like, hey, this guy's a friend. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you could objectively measure.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that, DayDay? Like,
Objectively measure?
Like
As,
how
there's
would
no
you-
number. There's no way
what
to
is
like
your view
definitively.
yeah, like what's your view from, that guy's a friend to like, like you guys are like friends, like really close friends. What's that? How would you define that process? That
Like,
difference?
you've mentioned it in a past cast about like your coworkers or like their coworkers. You spend a lot of time with them, but they're not necessarily friends,
Right.
right? It's not just quantity of time spent. There's something else. So yeah.
I guess for me is when I don't have to make small talk.
Small talk. Okay.
Yeah. Like something that I have to say or like strike a conversation because I have to.
Hmm.
That I wouldn't consider that as a friend.
Like an obligation to have
Yeah.
a conversation.
It's
Yeah,
effortless.
That's a neat.
So how does
I
that?
guess
How does one become your friend? The first level of friend, where you're like, hey, he's a friend.
I don't even know if there's like levels for me. I think it's just the maybe. Well, if you get offended, then that's it. That's not gonna like,
Oh, you can't get offended at all. Okay.
well, you can, but like if it's something that I don't think is offensive, or I just think I'm just speaking my mind, but you find it super offensive, then we're not gonna make it very far.
So there's a level
I
of
find a
common
lot of the
interest.
things you say offensive.
Maybe it's
Like-
just his delivery.
Maybe. I think
Sorry, I was gonna say one thing you said there is you don't think there's levels or a level.
yeah.
I was like,
It's just-
there's clearly though.
There's clearly levels though.
There's
No, like levels isn't like level 1 friend, level 2 friend, and then like best friends forever friend. Like, I mean, yeah, there's people who are like family.
take
but
for example these
like-
guys.
No, but you guys are like family. That's different. That's not a like. There's no like I don't keep track of okay, this guy's level 2 friend and this guy's level 1 friend. Like I don't care.
Or maybe
about
not like level 1 or level
It's
2.
like
but
it's like
maybe
more like
you put it,
wood,
on a-
bronze,
on a
silver,
scale.
gold.
There's like a scale of like this guy's a really good friend and this is someone I just met. They might not be definitively okay. This is like the jump, but you can probably gauge where they would be from there. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I guess there's, coworkers and then friends and then you guys. That's I don't know. Like
All right, how about this then? If you were to compare like two people that you know that you would consider friends,
mhm.
can you have an opinion of which one is a closer friend?
I don't want to name names.
Yeah, like, don't say like what, okay. I'm sure you have someone at work who you talk to. Okay, see, you can't use that word.
Exposed.
Okay. UW hip hop, like
Yeah.
there was a ton of people,
Yeah.
and we got along with a lot of people, but you don't talk to them anymore. But would you still consider them friends?
No.
But they were friends and then they're no longer friends?
Oh,
I don't if I don't
Kidding.
talk to you then
that's fair.
That's not a
why-
friendship, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If I don't
But-
if I don't spend any of my time with you, how are you my friend?
But they were friends? They just stopped being your friends?
Like you have to understand I'm like the worst when it comes to names too. Like I'm the worst. Like if you guys mention, hey, remember this guy? I'm the first one who goes, who? Like I don't I'm bad with names
So
and
if you
faces. You know?
remember names, they're your best
If I-
friend.
No, if I remember. No, it's not like that. It's like I don't know. Like if I go back and I have a way to, I guess, communicate with you, and I do talk to you still, you know, then yeah, I do consider you my friend. But if it's somebody that I haven't talked since graduation, just because I went to hip hop with you, it doesn't make you my friend.
Okay.
Right.
How about this? You hang out with obviously Hichi's friends a lot. Not to
Yeah.
say like, I'm sure you talk to them, right?
Mhm.
But if you're to compare one of her friends to like one of us, would you say that you're closer to one of us, or like, can you have that comparison? Oh, I'm closer to this person.
But they're both friends.
Yeah, because you hang out with Hiji's friends all the time. You hang out
Yeah.
with us all the time. So obviously we're all friends. But do you feel that there would be?
But we're
comparison?
better, right? Like we're
Hey.
better, right?
Yeah, you can say that. Oh, I'm definitely closer to this person, and so there is a wrong answer here.
Like okay, like you guys are like I don't consider you guys friends. You guys are family. Like you guys aren't like you guys are. I can't put you on the same like comparison as
But how did we get
them.
there?
Oopsie.
I've known you guys since 2006.
Okay, so
That's a long time.
length
And
of time,
I've
quantity.
constantly, stayed in contact and spent time with you guys. So that's why, compared to I don't know, I've been here like 3-4 years.
Yo, plot
not,
twist.
It's not a matter of who's a better friend or not. It's just
We
No,
just
not
are.
necessarily better. It's just like
it,
closer.
it is what it is. Like you can't expect to be closer to someone who you've known for 3 years compared to someone who you know more than 15 years. Just math.
This is perfect.
Okay. I will say, Dan so far has been the only one who mentioned like a factor, like the love aspect. Obviously, it's not a word we really throw around with each other that actually we do. Maybe with some alcohol, we would say it a little bit more. We'd be like, I love you guys. But there are those things that qualify someone's relationship to be more than just an acquaintance or someone we know. So love I think is later on, yeah. Like when we've reached that family level, you could say it to each other, so that's why we're a family. But like trust, there's like a level of trust that you feel like you can rely on a friend versus you wouldn't rely on someone you just met. Would you?
Yeah.
Would you place that kind of
No.
more?
Yes.
You
I
would?
would.
So how do you gauge that though? How do you gauge someone's like? Is it because benefit of the doubt, you give them one chance, 3 strikes type of thing? What like?
I just do it.
You
I treat others the way I'd like to be treated.
you want
Goes
someone's
back to the whole-
confidence right away, so you'd give someone your confidence right away.
I have no problem with doing that. That story about the drive-through at McDonald's, that's a good example of one time. Homie knocked on my window. Was like, yo, you going somewhere? I'm like, yeah, you want in?
Yeah, I don't have that.
I don't know if I would
You let
condone that
someone-
behavior.
You
So
just
yeah,
picked up
homie jumped
somebody?
in with me. We smoked a bit of the devil's lettuce together. Bought an extra McDouble for him, and then I dropped him off.
Was he homeless?
No,
This is somebody you met for the first time.
he knocked on my window of the car at the drive-through.
Yeah, we were talking about this because
I did not partake in this, Tita.
True. We have very different views.
I do not promote this behavior.
That's a personality difference. There's nothing wrong with that. A level
Okay.
of comfort at work
Okay,
is
so the trust thing, okay, that's fine. But you mean, was he was your homie? Okay, is there a level of like vulnerability or like sharing personal information with people, like not secrets to that level, but like is there certain information that you will only keep
Oh.
to a certain circle of people? but you won't tell general public about yourself. How about that?
I have
Con-
nothing to hide, so I'm pretty much an open book to anybody. If they ask me the questions, I'm a divulge. I mean, there's obviously some things that I'll have to like people tell me in confidence that I wouldn't let out, or there are things like, you know, super personal information like your social insurance number, things like that that I wouldn't give out.
Oh, we're not allowed to share that?
I mean, I know your
Damn.
pin.
So yeah, no, if anything, those are the kind of things I wouldn't give out. But somebody wanted to ask me about my life story or ask me about my relationship or how the sex is, I'd be like, okay, let's go. I don't mind. I'll tell you
Okay.
things.
Okay, cool.
I have utmost trust in humanity that I have nothing to hide, and I think I'll trust anybody as long as they're willing to trust me. Now, the difference for me when it comes to like, because I like to consider everybody a friend. Like I said, I like to treat others the way I want to be treated. What separates you guys from a lot of other people is that brotherhood, like DayDay alluded to, family. It's hard to say when that family line is more or less crossed from friendship. I think it's when people start to hang out more often than not, when it turns into late nights like these, when it turns into like more extra unnecessary time together that you don't have to spend together, but you enjoy each other's company that much. And Dan kind of spoke to it too, where it turns into more of a vibe and a feeling that's kind of harder to explain. It's almost like, yeah, no, it's one of those things you can't objectively define. It's not just a math thing. I wouldn't say it's like, oh yeah, 15 years versus 6 years. I have a friend, like I said, that homie that's I've only known for maybe 7 out of the 9 years I've been here. I would consider him a brother as well. We don't talk much, but when we do, it's quality. I know it's like reciprocated love, more or less.
So best friend, automatically kind of family tier.
Yeah, I think for me, like I'm simple in that everyone's a friend, or you're in that family tier of friends. Where it gets to be dicey is like, yeah, no, it's that one's a tough one. Like there's some sort of gray area in the middle. It's like, yeah, I can still consider them a family member. Like I would still treat them like family.
But the friendship isn't quite the same.
I don't know. I think the friend that what it turns into is like I haven't really like hung out with you. Like an example of this would be homie at the studio. I want to consider her family because we've been friends for a while, but at the same time it's like I don't know, we don't really have opportunity to like be family-ish. Hi, Ali. Exposed.
That's who I thought in my head too.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, no, we've been busy though. I don't know.
but is there an element of exchange and reciprocation in that too? It can't be one-sided.
Oh yeah.
The level of kind of output you give out to the person, you kind of expect to receive.
I
Mutual?
don't have the expectation. It'd be nice if, you know, whatever I'm giving, they would reciprocate. Some situations it isn't like that. Have I ever told you about drug dealer in Edmonton?
No.
Okay.
Sorry,
Story for
Dita.
another time.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
Anyways, I had a
You have nothing
situation
to
where I
hide. You
helped-
said.
yeah, no, well, it's more for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ever come across this, but at the same time, I helped somebody out. He was in a bad situation with his girlfriend. I knew the girlfriend first. Helped him out. It cost a bit. There was money involved.
Yeah.
I think I do kind of remember this.
And then, yeah, I would still help him out.
Again?
I mean, yeah, and I did.
Similarly, like in the same
Similarly,
context.
it was dire situation. It was a New Year's. They were stranded. They were however many hours away from home, so I would still help them out, even though that hasn't quite been reciprocated. It kind of stings to know they haven't, you know, like, I don't know, shown the same hospitality. I'm sure they would if I were to go visit them. But I know in due time, karma's one of those things that comes back and gets you back later. So I will patiently wait for that good tiding to ride through.
And this is where we differ.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay.
Pretty much what he said. The opposite is me.
Dude is like, you must give me things too.
No, it's not even that. Like I don't. I think I have more strict, I guess.
Requirements.
Not trying to find the right word. Like
Criteria.
For me to consider you as a friend, I would be willing to spend my time listening to your problems. If I choose not to, or I don't want to, then you are not my friend. I don't care if I've, like, if I've, it's kind of like what Warren said, like the whole, treat them like how you want to treat me. Like, I don't want them to care about my problems either, because I don't need their, feedback. I don't want their feedback, so I don't give mine to them, kind of thing.
Is it an element that you don't value their feedback?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't seek it and I don't give it, and I think that's a fair
Exchange.
yeah.
Or
regardless of how they feel about me.
Yeah.
I value my time, right? So I don't want to listen to your problems and try to help you out when I know or I believe that your feedback towards me is useless.
I think that was the key thing for me. I would agree with DayDay is the value of time. Like I just, we get to an age, and I felt this a while ago, but like as you're older and you're more mature, it's like I don't have time to deal with like high school drama or whatever. Or so if we're not close friends or if we're not friends, I just, you might be a cool person to other people, but it just, you got problems. Everybody has problems, but I want to spend my time wisely.
Not to say that Warren doesn't, but it's just how I value. Like I want to spend that on elsewhere. I just choose to do that. That's just perfect. That's all.
Choose to do that with like other people.
Yeah.
Give other people a better chance and time.
Well, more priority, right? It's like a priority thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, so priority plus like I just wouldn't give it anything. But I for me to feel that way with somebody else, they'd have to be like really low on my human scale. Like it doesn't take me, or it takes me a lot to
human scale.
Yeah. If I think you're a terrible human, I'm not going to give you the time. But
well, right.
It takes me a lot, or for me, like for someone to get there, it's rare. I'm a pretty open and easygoing person, so I'll talk to everybody. But if there are, if there's someone that I just really feel like, what, you're just dishing me issues, and I don't feel that we're on that same level, I don't want to deal with it. So.
Okay, I like that you mentioned that. I do have something to give to that. But before, welcome Kyle.
Kyle.
Cut. What's up?
Hello. Where's this video? Hello.
Yeah.
I see his
Volume
What's
up.
Kairu-san?
So does Kyle and DayDay have haircuts?
Welcome to
what?
Yeah.
No, I have to get mine this weekend.
Oh, I thought it's just combed.
I just showered.
Just kidding.
I come out with hair, but yeah.
You got anything you want to add to? I guess
That was
technically catch up?
that was a deep thing to join into. It was like, so y'all are talking about more like unrequited friendships kind of thing.
Just friendship.
I jumped in from Warren's story.
Oh, the drive-through story.
Where you?
I think that.
Oh no, Edmonton story.
Yeah,
Oh.
where you would be a good friend and you give someone support when they need it, and they don't necessarily give you anything back, and you were talking about how you would handle that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Or their
Say
take
that.
on it. Like
Yeah.
their level of effort to maybe maintain that kind of relationship or friendship.
For me, I think it would be. It's a very subjective thing, you know. Depends on how close you are with the person that you're helping, even though they may be like that, right? So maybe you think like, they're not worthy of your friendship, but maybe it's a friend you've had, and when you were young, let's say, you were like best friends, and then people change, and then all of a sudden they're like, but you still care a lot about them, and if they need your help, then you still help them. If it's just some stranger asking you for money, and they're like if they're a drug dealer, it's like, I don't know, that's different. It's a whole different feel.
So the topic today is defining friendships, and then later on we're gonna go into like dealing with conflict with your friends. But right now, I guess we were trying to evaluate when someone who you just meet, acquaintance level kind of, or coworker or whatever, actually becomes a friend. And with Warren, as soon as he knows your name, you're a homie, which is really cool.
Okay.
But I guess the other side of the extreme is not quite that simple. It's more like more time needs to be invested, or I brought in the word trust, and like being able to confide in someone and valuing someone's opinion or input, for you to actually care what they have to say about you or what you have to say about them. That whole exchange. And then Dan, ultimately, yeah, there's this element of love, and like, family is another one that we brought in, but that's way later, and I think in friendship.
I think how some people describe friendships as your inner circle, outer circle, but
Okay.
they're both friends. I view friendship more like that. Like, I see friendship as tier levels.
Yeah.
So I am friends with people that I wouldn't go out of my way to help them, let's say, because I don't know them that well, but I would still say they're friends. And then
So yeah,
the
what
level
makes
is
them a
all the
friend?
way up to like, I'll give you my lung if you need it. Like,
So
you
what-
guys, if you want my kidney, here, take it. Like, it's like that.
What was the first level, and how do you get that?
The first level was what I thought about with Warren. Like, I meet a coworker, and then that first conversation, it's like you have a bunch of things in common, and you start talking about like, hey, like, there's a gym here at work. You want to just work out, and then you start working out together. That's like level 1 friend.
Gym buddies, similar interest, right?
Yeah, to me, yeah, like introduction level.
Common interest, yeah. I was gonna
I
say
think
that
the
too.
interest helps, but it could just be like you're able to carry at least a conversation and it's enjoyable. Because I have people that like I would say are there, but you can carry conversation. Maybe it's the interest thing is something that helps drive that that bond for more time. But I could still see someone as that like friendship level that Kyle's talking about, but not necessarily have anything in common. I felt that too.
Is it messed up that I'd be willing to give my kidney to just anybody that needed it, even
Nope.
if I didn't know them?
You're just a great.
No, that's fine. You're just
like-
Yeah,
Blood donor, right?
Like
giving
that's
person.
kind of
I know you like Kyle did mention the whole like, if a friend needed it, is it
They
fucked
get-
up that I? Is it
they get
messed up
dibs.
that I would like?
they get dibs.
Okay, I guess that's a good way to put it. They would get dibs. No, I only think it's messed up because I would die for anybody.
it's,
Like, it didn't have to be you guys. If somebody was about to, I would more than happy give my life up for somebody else, even if I didn't know them.
Would you take a bullet for Trump?
Potentially.
Yeah,
Just
I would
random
say that I would say that you're not. That's not fucked up. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
you are different to what I'm assuming the general person would do, which is not do that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that you are in a minority of people that would just give your life for anybody, and that's awesome. Like I think that shows a great level of.
It's like martyrdom, sainthood.
Yeah.
Makes me think whether or not I have like mental issues.
No, I don't think that at all. It's a level of selflessness that not many people have.
Was that a value taught to you, or is that something you learned
I don't
yourself
know.
over time? You're like, you know what? My life. Okay, is it a? Ooh, okay. Here's the thing. I don't know. Worth, value. Your life being worth a certain amount compared to someone else's. Why does someone else have? Like, you're willing to give your life for just anybody, but is there a sense of like comparison of like, well, why is that person's life more important than yours or anyone else's?
No, I don't compare myself to anybody else. I think that mentality is also why I have that mentality of everyone's a friend. Just
Like-
knowing everyone's a human, then I would want every human to be my friend at some point, because that'd be cool. I wouldn't want to have any kind of like, chances are I've burned bridges in the past, but I would rather not have any kind of ill relations with anyone. So I'd welcome anybody as a friend. So as soon as I know your name, or if we've been acquainted, it's not just an acquaintance. It's a friendship at that point on. Even if somebody does me wrong, I would still be the type to be like, you know what? I know you. We're both going through stuff. We're all humans. I would still consider you a friend and do what I can to help.
So your like your ability to forgive, not even just forgive, but like, yeah, I guess forgive is pretty is like utmost.
Unlimited chances. You
Yeah.
get a chance. You get a chance. You get a chance.
Okay, no strikes. I mean, oh, you can't strike out. I mean, that's crazy. But what does that go also for like relationships, like romantic relationships too? They stay your friend.
Good question. Pass. I plead the fifth.
Fair.
No, in all honesty, like
That's
past
cool, that's
relationships,
cool.
I haven't really had a whole lot of contact with them. Like specifically
Yeah,
the
you-
last one, I haven't really spoken
Right.
in a while. I've had thoughts of being like reaching out. If I'm ever back in Toronto, I would say hi at some point.
Is it something you feel you owe it to humanity or something, or like
No, I think
karma?
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
It just sounds like the right thing to do.
For both parties. For you too.
No, on me, I think just it makes sense to do.
Okay.
That's why I think everyone's a friend. And like Kyle was starting to get into the whole tiers and level of friendship. For me, if anything, it sounds like I have like two levels of friends. Like I know you, you're a friend, and then there's family.
Right. So how do you distinguish that?
It must be a time thing. I feel like there is a factor of time, and then there's the factor of kind of experiencing things together, or going through, the good and the bad together. So it's
Would
no
you-
longer just knowing each other and then, the topical conversation. Now you have an understanding of what makes somebody them, more than you would of somebody else.
What about level of participation in
What do
your
you mean?
life? Let's take, for example, original Team Brack to True Brack.
Wait,
So,
huh?
so,
What's the difference?
so I mean,
Oh,
we
no.
all. I do think the common interest thing is a very good start for a friendship. You share something that you both like, and then we took it further from UW Hip Hop Club of an interest, to then we had a common goal, which was competition, and then we now had to endure something and like work hard at something, and there's like risk of failure and reward together. So that brought us even closer. After university dance kind of ended. Well, I mean, we ended at different times. Interest was still there, but we couldn't partake in it together. And then video games brought us back together because that was the common interest that, again, we enjoyed doing. And then I guess there was a competitive level to it at some point, but not really. And then, yeah, you know, but where was I going with that? Someone can chime in.
I think you were
forget
trying to
this one.
allude to the whole like that differentiation between just your generic friendship to a deeper
Participation.
friendship.
So let's say, okay, like, you know, after university, people having birthday get-togethers, right? We invite out Team Brack. Everyone can come out, but only certain people came. Only certain people show up. So interest levels were still there. We were still doing things together, maybe online, but there were only certain people that showed up, willing to participate in your life events or like in this person and in the more of the gathering thing. And that's what kind of brought us family together because we not gave up our time, but we invested our own time into each other outside of the common interest. Yeah, so you said it too, like hanging out more when you don't need to. It's like a choice, right?
I think that's a factor of it, but I don't think that's kind of like the definition of it. I think it's hard to put any kind of definition to
Right.
what makes somebody closer. Definitely the time is a factor. Definitely the quality of time is a factor. Because, yeah.
That's good. Quality of time. I like that.
Yeah.
Quality.
Quality's more of a factor than I guess,
Quantity.
length of time.
Mm.
You know.
I'll add in something. For me, it was not the competition that made me closer. I think when I think back about what exactly made me closer to, you know, you guys, Team Brack, but other people in hip hop were those other times where you chill. So like the nights, the super late night talks, or like from really deep conversations to really goofy stuff. To me, like that is the creation of the bonding. And then I mean, like dancing together is cool and everything, and that's where we met. But when we started to like hang out at somebody's place, I'm happy that I was part of like the Cardil days, the UWP days, the ridiculous random Wednesdays, the DC nights, you know, like just doing random stuff. Like all those chats were what brought me closer to everyone. And that's not just us here. It's like when I think of Tola and Han as well, and FJ is part of that. I'm super sad because we're not really close. You know, even though that love for them is still super strong. We don't play games or whatever or meet online every day. So we chat like twice a year or something like that, and it sucks.
Yeah.
If that. So
So when does that? I mean, obviously it doesn't compare to Team Brack. I can relate with you because I'm in the same circle, but like, I don't feel that family bond with that circle anymore. I still have that utmost respect, and like, I guess I would still sacrifice. You know, I'd be willing to sacrifice for them, but it's not the same. You know?
No. Well, it sucks when you grow apart from someone. I mean, that is part of life as well. And it just, like, I hate it because I remember having a talk with Tola, and Tola basically said, like, if you're not part of my life, you're not my friend. Like, it's kind of like that. Not that she hates me or anything, or you, FJ.
I know. No, I
But,
get it. Yeah. But I can
you
feel
know,
the sentiment too. I can feel it, and I don't hold it against people like that or her per se, but I can feel that, and then I get a little bit easier to understand too, again, that level of reciprocation or lack of reciprocation. So it's like the effort part. You know what I mean? Like, I guess with, again, that example with that circle, the who initiates. Generally, who's the person initiating the ideas of, like, even just opening a convo or initiating an opportunity to get together. You kind of get that feeling of, like, where the effort's coming from. And then if it's not reciprocated, then you're like, okay, well, okay, I understand. You know, priorities, family, and kids, and career,
and start having kids and everything.
Yeah.
And then we start talking about meeting up, and then COVID hits, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
No, what it sounds like is there's obviously a ton of factors to take into account when it comes to defining when someone becomes a friend or turns from a friend to a close friend. I think what I do like hearing about that is the effort level between, you know, whether it's two people or a group of people. If it's a group of people willing to give the same effort on a, not to say consistent basis, but like over a long period of time, I guess it would be a consistent basis. I think that's kind of where we're all kind of feeling like the reason we're more or less feeling like brothers is because over time and over consistent meetups and kind of conversation like this, that's what's molded us into feeling like we're brothers, because the same effort level has been kind of reciprocated back and forth. We've all given each other that effort level of attention. We all participate in these kind of gatherings more or less on a consistent basis, and it's been over years.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge the group here. There are certain individuals I can think of who were there, hip hop, who were there in the hangouts, late nights, chillin', who were there kinkardin, who were there sleepovers, okay? But they're not, they didn't make it to this level. But they were there. The participation was there. The presence was there. I don't know if you know who I'm specifically mentioning.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Dan, you said you don't, or you do?
I do. I know.
You do.
I've been
So-
to one kinkardin.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just one example, but they've also
It's
participated in like traveling, like even traveling, like in whatever, not just kinkardin. You know, but they're not. The effort was there, but something was lacking, I guess. Something was lacking to make them get within the circle or within the family level. So what do you think that is? Why?
Well, for me, like I was talking about, it's not just like participation would be a factor that I see almost similar to quantity of time.
Yep.
I think that just gives you an opportunity to build that bond, but for whatever reason, that bond was not created, and like I said, it's hard for me to pinpoint because mine is it's very not quantitative, but I think it was a feeling that not that I didn't. I don't know. I didn't have the same trust build. For me, there were instances where I didn't feel that same reciprocation of trust, whether it was me putting myself out there or the other way around.
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, it's a feeling, and if I didn't feel that, then you can't just force the closeness, and if that close bond isn't being reinforced, then having no contact that's just eventually going to lead to not having a friendship. So that's kind of my viewpoint on it. That person tried, and I tried, and it's just for whatever reason, maybe it was a variety of factors, whether it was environment or like I said, those other instances, but just the bond wasn't created, and why they're no longer in my life right now.
Did you do the thing with them like you did with the rest of us? I'm
God, no.
DayDay, you don't know who I'm
Kidding.
talking about still?
No
You don't
idea.
know.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, that's
hold
that's
on.
it's probably because you don't remember their name.
Yeah, I probably don't care. That's
That's-
why I probably
okay.
don't remember.
Okay, sorry, Kyle. Do you want to say anything?
I'll be honest. I was just sitting down trying to figure out who this is.
Okay.
Who is
Okay. In the
You know what?
Okay.
Though?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know who we're talking about specifically, but like
That's okay.
I think I'm wondering if this turns into like, is there a chemistry thing or an X factor or some sort of like drawing force that brings us together, or could it be like, you know, just the viewpoint or someone else's opinion on one certain factor? Maybe was there an experience that they dealt with in such a messed up way that we would never think of dealing with that situation, where it's like, okay, this person's nuts or this person's off the rocker.
Yeah.
Like, not to say outcast them, but I'm a hold them at a distance and not
Yeah.
promote them into this family level. Like, was there an instance? Was it just that X factor? Was like, it could have been any one of those things. And I think anyone's actions or thoughts kind of push and pull them into or out of that inner circle of friendship or that family level of friendship. And then
Yeah,
the more I think about it, it turns into trust.
Either they did something or I did something.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
and I think that's a great example too, FJ, because like I said, it takes a lot for me personally for someone to get to that point.
Yeah.
You know, I give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't
Yeah.
base it on their interactions with other people.
Yeah.
But if I have those instances and it's the same thing, then the track record isn't great, and then it just becomes do I want to, I value my time, so do I want
Continue
to
investing.
with this person
Yeah.
or another?
Yeah. There's no return on investment.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's self-serving. Friendship isn't generally self-serving. It kind of comes. It's like a bonus reward that comes with friendship, is the fact that it does come back to you, the whole karma thing. I just want to say, looking back and reevaluating what happened there, because I tried to, like, I think, you know, there were times where it came very things were brought onto the surface, and we were very candid and direct about what was going on. And I think ultimately, okay. Thanks, Dan, for the revelation there. I think it's values. So when I look back, I think, there's common interests, there's common kind of things we could enjoy and have fun, and so those were there. But then in the end, the values didn't align, and it's like, ultimately, with the five of us, we are, you know, unique in our own ways, and we're very different, certain in how we maybe evaluate friendships. But I think overall our values are kind of aligned, you know, in terms of like whatever, family, trust, reciprocation, level of care. And specifically with this individual, there's a difference when someone is like opening up to you and actually valuing your input in their lives to see if you can make a difference and care and improve their life, versus someone who's just venting. Someone who just vents and doesn't actually listen and put any kind of consideration into what opinion or care you show towards them. And I think that's what it came down to with me. Like, I was investing in effort, and I wanted to see change, I wanted to see growth, I wanted to see improvement, but not to say like I knew better, but I mean, like, if things are going wrong and it doesn't seem to be improving, but you don't seem to be making any changes towards that towards deviating from that, you know, spiral downward, and you're not even listening to what I'm saying, then what is there? Like, am I really just a friend, or am I just someone you're just venting to? Am I, you know? And it didn't feel like it was unfair, or it was being taken away from me. It just didn't feel like, yeah. that's how I lost kind of the value in that. I didn't feel valued as a friend, and I guess in turn, I lost that feeling of value towards them too.
Fair enough.
Um,
I think I'm fortunate to say that I don't think I've lost a friend in the past. I feel like there are friends I'm out of touch with, but I feel like I've burned a bridge before, and it's probably with a girl.
Here's the thing though, like when I look at that specific instance, sorry to go back,
It's all good.
I don't even know if she ever was really a friend.
Oh, it's a girl. Oh!
So
I can say she was.
I
for me.
tried. No, I don't. I probably tried, but it never felt like it was there. But I kept trying it for it to be, for the sake of, I don't know. Go ahead.
Me?
Because you have to. Yeah. Well, I
I'm
mean,
just
like.
saying yes. Yeah. I would say we were very close at one point. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And honestly, like, she's not like at the bottom of a barrel or anything for me. It's
Yeah. No. Still wish
if-
her well.
if this person, needed, depending on the situation, I would offer.
Yeah. It's too late now. Would you
Yeah,
give
I
her a
would say
kidney?
for me, there's- okay.
Again, depending. Like, I'm not as what's the word? Altruistic? I'm not as amazing as Warren, but
If
I'll say
anyone
it's
out there watching this right now needs a kidney,
Oh god.
Okay.
what should your DMs just start lighting up?
Okay. Sorry. I think we can. Does anyone else want to input on that, or maybe you should divert from that topic, from that specific one anyway? Because I do have another question to challenge.
All right, shoot, Greg, what's the question?
Our circle of friends, Brack, it doesn't rely on the fact that we see each other every day, we talk to each other every day, we feel this presence every day. We're just lucky to have that. We don't rely on it to keep this friendship, but we're lucky to have that. But there are friends out there, some even still my best friend, who I don't have an active relationship with. But, you know, the cliche, whenever we see or meet up or talk to each other, it's like we pick up where we left off. Right? It's one of those things where it's like nothing's changed. It feels like you snap back into where you were last left off, and then that friendship still feels as solid as ever. I thought that's what true friendship was. I thought that's, for me, it's technically effortless. I didn't have to go out of my way to maintain the friendship. It just does, because it kind of just works both ways. Do you guys agree with that sentiment? There's a second part, but do you guys agree with that?
I would agree, but I think both parties have to know it's like that.
Right.
Mhm.
I agree.
if one
Yeah.
party's expecting it, then it's kind of
Yeah.
like, well, that's one-sided now.
Yeah,
Mhm,
because there's a lot of people who need that constant
Yes.
communication or like interaction, I should say.
Yeah.
But I think it just works so well for us because there's plenty of times where, you know, we all had spurts of just gone MIA and we're just like, yeah, I think they're okay, and then, you know, like when I went to Winnipeg, like I didn't talk to you guys for like
Months.
almost a year. Like 8
You went to
340
Winnipeg?
347 days and 14 hours and
But yeah, like I barely talked to anyone. I think I talked to like Warren or DayDay maybe once or twice while I was there, and it wasn't until I started coming
Lucky.
back more often where I'd actually like catch up. But I mean, you know, that was it, because we all have that same view of if we can come back and then we hang out and we chill and everything is the same, then you know that level's not going to change.
But you didn't agree on that. You didn't like talk about that.
Yeah, it wasn't like all right, guys, if I leave, are you still gonna be my friends?
No.
Oh, okay. No, but yeah, like I said, I think we've all at some point within our friendships have had those spurts of just zero communication, but we knew that when you came back, you're like, "Hey, how you been? Like, you good? Yeah," and then
We're there, yeah.
catch up, and then it's all good.
I didn't know the other end of that existed until I was faced with it, and I lost friends that way. Friends who straight up told me when I said I think friends are those where you can pick up where you left off after not even talking for a year or whatever duration of time. And when I said that example, that specific friend was like, "That's bullshit." And I'm like, "What?" And I was shocked. I'm like, "I've never heard of this before. What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Friendship takes effort. You have to put in the time. Otherwise, what are you nurturing? It's like a plant. If you ignore it, it will not grow and it will blah, 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 blah." Not to say that it wasn't valuable information, but I didn't realize that at the time. That's how we fell off. That's how we now stopped being friends, because I had the not expectation, but I guess the definition that I didn't have to do that, but they did. They thought that I forgot about them or that I didn't put in the time and effort. But then in my defense, man, I was like, well, why didn't you ever initiate anything? Why does it always rest on me? Like, why do I have to be the one to start it up to show effort, but you're waiting for it? It's like, nah, not fair.
That's called entitlement.
Hey,
I think what helps though, we also had a very long-standing build-up too. Like it wasn't like we started to become close for like a couple months and then we were off the grid for like a few years. Like we hung out a lot even after university, even after we all graduated. So it did. I think we were very pretty much at that family relationship when all those like disappearance may or may not have happened, but yeah,
I think I disappeared. I didn't establish it with you guys until after StarCraft. So I guess, yeah, I didn't get to that level and then disappear. It was more like it started later for me with you guys.
We were thinking of you though.
I guess I didn't feel it. And not to say that I wanted to feel it, I didn't expect it, but it was like, yeah, it was different. It was different then.
Only reason I say that is because knowing how we've all kind of come through UW hip hop, none of this would have ever happened had we not met you.
Yeah, situationally, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the friend role then wasn't, the participation thing wasn't the same.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't open
I mean,
up with you guys till later.
in the end, it works out.
Yeah.
Sooner or
Exactly.
later, I don't think that matters. I think now we're at the point where it is a quality thing, and plot twist, this is the BrackCast that breaks our friendship. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Start talking about conflict resolution, plot twist. We are no longer friends,
I hate you guys.
but I'll still give you my kidney.
Dibs.
I can always count on word for that.
Always kind of war for a kidney.
My blood type is no type.
Excellent.
I ain't got no type.
Does anyone want to... But before, I think, yeah, it's a good segue into conflict within friends. Does anyone want to kind of add some thoughts to the whole establishing friendship or even the effort part?
I will add that when I think about, like, let's say, like Tolanhan, but like Tol in particular, like if I don't go and see her, I feel like I'll lose her as a friend.
Yeah.
And I know it just sucks because like she has a totally different life, and if I were closer, it would be so much easier to visit Han as well. Like these two people mean a lot to me, but I feel that since we've split, like it can only go so far until you get to a point where it's like, shit, we're not friends anymore. So like that's why every now and then I have to just say something. I say something in the group chat, like I'll throw in a link to something just to be like, hey, I'm still here. I still care about you guys. I really want to see you all. Like it bothers me that it's been so long since I've had a sit down conversation with them, and I feel like if I wait long enough, it won't be there to have.
Yeah, I'm not dreading the time when it happens, but like I know that it's quite possible that one of these days we're gonna see blah 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 has left the group chat. And it's like that's when you know. I kept it there for a while too. It's the very bottom of the list because it's not very active, but it's there. You have to
I
keep
can't. Yeah, there's no way I can leave that chat.
Yeah, I can't leave that chat, but its activity is close to nil. It's just me and you, really.
Yeah.
But
for me, it was always a
sorry.
birthday thing. Sorry, you go. You go.
Oh,
I
the
didn't-
birthday thing. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, we still do that. We kind of do that, at least the two of us. I think it's also a function of where we are in our lives. They got married, had kids. Specifically, all of them. Ray Tolahan. Ray first, then Tola, or was it Tola first, then Ray? Ray. Well, anyway, and then they had children, and those are really big, important events in one's life, and you share those with whoever you shared it with. And it just so happened that there were other individuals in their life now who shared with those milestones with them, and so they're their friends. They're close friends because those are pivotal moments, and it's gonna make some impact. Guys, if I stayed in Germany, and so let's say that relationship continued, and I went to Germany, and I stayed in Germany, and then I got married there, and then whatever happened. I mean, I don't think I'd be here. You know, like
I
it's
call
a
bulls on that.
you don't what? Wait, you don't think?
I don't think
You don't
so.
think I'd built something? Well, I mean, I'd maybe still be here, but if you
No. Not to say like that would have never happened. I'm saying even if you did go, I don't think you would just.
Not that I forgot about you guys, but it wouldn't be this.
It would be like, especially if you had kids, it would
Yeah.
be he would show up less and less, and it would be more. Okay, I can't do the podcast this week, guys.
I'd come in a call,
And then-
holding
and
the
then
baby. Hey guys,
I mean-
just want to say goodnight.
never say never. It could have happened.
It could still happen.
It could still happen, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, for me, I like to base it on the birthday thing. Like I like to make it a point to message people, like a personal message, like old school text, or not just like a social media post.
Yeah.
And if I'll look back and I'll see that, okay, it's always me, or they're not even responding. I have a really good friend since like elementary school, high school, but like I never talked to him. But I'll message him on his birthday, and he always appreciates that I do, and he messages me on mine, and
That's
but
enough.
that's it. It's unfortunate that it is what it is, but like I think the thought that you still care to take that day to at least say, hey, you know what, like I'm still thinking about you, and hope you're good. It might not get any further than that, but that's something like I value. Like I might not be super close with them, but it's things like that that really, that's the reason for me it takes a long time. So if I don't remember your birthday, or you don't get a message from me, that's probably why. Like I just didn't see that value anymore, because I'd rather spend that time with somebody else.
Yeah, I'm a step, like, I guess after that, like I even deleted Facebook notification because I was so sick and tired of getting those birthday notices that I don't about people I don't care about. Like,
Why don't you just
there's no
unfriend them?
point. It takes me time to go into their profile and unfriend. I don't even use the app, dude. Like I can't.
Okay.
It's a waste of time for me. And I mean, to Dan, it's because he values that kind of interaction, at least with those that were once close to them. But for me, if I don't remember your birthday and I need an app to remind me when your birthday is, I don't need
Oh
you. in
yeah,
my life.
that's what I mean. Like I don't even use the Facebook.
Straight up.
I do it. I make it a point to remember birthdays, like not using Facebook. Like that's how.
Sorry,
that's
Al.
how I would define.
Like-
I want to keep that.
Not me.
Like if I have it in my, if I wrote it in my calendar or something, that
Do you have a
that's different.
calendar?
But
I use calendar contacts.
yeah,
Happy birthday,
calendar
Kyle.
contact, that's different. But like, from some SNS that reminds you, and then you're like, oh right, and then you do it, and then they say the same thing about your birthday because the app reminded them. It's like, why do you even just let it go? Like, you don't need that. That's my opinion.
I'm kind of with DayDay, but in a different way. Well, I'm bad at remembering dates for one. Two, I don't use apps that tell me about dates. And three, it's probably because I don't care about any kind of Hallmark holiday at all, including birthdays. Like I just don't. I don't care about any special day. It could be any day, and I'll show you how special you are to me. Like or I'll try. Or well, that's part of it. I guess a deeper issue would be too, but I don't care about special days.
I'll fully admit that my only real interaction with anybody on Facebook is that birthday. So if I get a birthday notification and then I don't really recall who this person is, if I have to like click it and see who that person is, I'll see the exchange. And you can check friendship between people. And if I feel if I see that I've only been the one to extend, if they do enough to like or respond to my birthday greeting, they stay my friend. But if they don't, if they see my greeting and just ignore it, I unfriend. So the birthday is either when I keep a friend or they lose one. On their birthday. I fully, and I'm okay. I used to keep everyone as a friend because I thought back then I was growing up, I was like new business. I'm like, all these people are potential clients. Keep as many friends as possible.
That's
The older I'm
different.
getting, I'm not like that anymore because it's like, I don't hold that same kind of value to a Facebook friend anymore because it's pretty meaningless now. But so it's just that minimal amount of effort, and then I get bothered by those people who disable their wall on their birthday. So you can't send them a message. So I can't
do
even
that?
show that. Yeah, you can disable posts on your wall whenever. And they specifically do it on their birthday because they know they're going to get bombarded by hundreds of happy birthday, generic happy birthdays. But I think that's the minimum amount of effort that I would like from Facebook. Otherwise, why are we friends on Facebook?
See, I do that, but I do that with phone contacts.
Yeah, if they're in your phone, then they're like even more.
They're in my phone, and then I'm sending them
Yeah.
text messages,
That's different.
and I don't receive reciprocation. I just delete the number.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even think about it. And then I would delete them off my calendar
On their birthday.
on their birthday.
Exactly. They're not losing anything. They don't even remember who I am.
I think for somebody's birthday, I'm gonna make sure to like bomb their page. I won't tell you which one of you I'm gonna do.
God, I already know who's gonna do it.
Well, it's not me because that'll be a whole nother year.
Yeah.
It can come at any point.
Yep. Time is ticking, boys. Someone's getting a big ol' like bomb.
What is that anyway?
Where you like everything. You just Jason Wang the whole page.
Big up
Yeah.
Jason Wang.
Yeah, dude.
Shout
man.
outs. Shout outs.
We're
to
throwing
Jason
names
Wang.
out there. I'm just gonna throw out Jay Wang.
We didn't throw names out there. You're
Yo,
the
you
first
haven't-
one.
War, you haven't like bombed me in
Crazy.
like years. In like, I'm gonna say like 6 years. Just saying.
Oh, okay, well now it's coming. You brought this on yourself. And DayDay, plenty of names were thrown out already.
No,
Ooh.
just genders.
Yeah, there was no names. You're the first one.
No, there were names already.
What?
You mean in the
names, but not last names.
Oh, those
Yes.
Oh,
those
you
names.
mean-
Oh, for sure,
ah,
those names.
gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I see.
Do you?
I mean, if he could just kept it at Jason, it's a very, very, very popular name.
I bet you there's 20 Jason Wangs in the phone book.
That's
Just
a
saying.
good
Yo, Google
point.
that right
That's a
now.
good
DayDay, bring it up.
All right, Danny. Yeah, that's me.
I would
Danny-
not even
Danny,
say
pull it
anything
up.
bad about the guy.
Yeah, it's true.
He's awesome.
Not like
Show
that
the
other
clip.
person I was referring
Pull up
to.
the clip, Jamie. Pull up the falling on stage clip, Jamie. Best recovery ever.
Oh man. The best is how we gift it, or how you gift it like 10 years later, and he liked it.
That was amazing.
Oh man. Great
Okay,
example. He's a friend, not a super close friend, but you know, if I saw him, I'd be like, "Yo, it's Jason."
bare minimum.
Yeah, like he's a level 1 friend.
Wood. Tier wood.
Like
Oh,
I love that guy, but he's a level 1 friend.
He would
A lot
still
of
thumbs
level
up
ones-
that.
A lot of level 1s for me are from UW Hip Hop.
He would.
Jason Wang, you're a level 1 friend. Like,
But he would 100%. He would like that. 100%.
I'm gonna like bomb him.
You should.
we should all just go.
I
on
don't even
social
know if
media
I know
right
this
now
guy.
and like bomb him.
I don't think I know this guy.
You don't need to.
I'm-
He's a good guy.
I've heard of him, but
One of the
He's a good
tallest Asian guys I've met.
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be Jimmy Shin.
He's taller than Jimmy.
Solid.
Whoa.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Like a lot. Like he's really tall.
Oh, sorry. You were segueing off Jacob.
Well, on that note, I think, I mean, that's deep already. We've hit a lot of, different ways to evaluate our friendships and like how to qualify our friendships. But yeah, when I came up with the second part, because I thought, defining friendships was a bit of a generic topic, I figured we'd challenge it a little bit more with conflict. So like how we deal with conflict, disagreements, differences in opinions and values with your friends. So the question
Whoa.
that
I was
Are
gonna
you-
say
are you offended?
difference of opinion doesn't necessarily mean conflict.
That's
That's
why
a
I mentioned.
completely different issue.
That's why I mentioned them both separately. I did not put them one in the same.
Nice.
Objection. Okay.
Objection!
So, I asked this question earlier, but I don't think that you were here yet, DayDay. Do you treat your friends differently with how you deal with a problem or a difference of value or opinion to someone you don't really know or someone who's not a friend? Or...
Yeah, of course. Of
So,
course.
do you
I'm
feel
the
like you can?
complete opposite of Warren?
Are you unfiltered with friends, or do you feel like you put more of a are you more tactful with friends? Are you more unfiltered? Are you less filtered, unfiltered, or are you more tactful with your friends?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, let's say. I mean,
DayDay doesn't-
kind of.
no,
I know you enough, I
DayDay-
think, to know the answer to this question.
It is a no.
Day's like, what is tact? What are you
It is
talking
like, what? Filter? No filter. I don't like what you do. I'm going to tell you straight up.
Basically,
That's
yeah. I mean, that's
Am I like careful
Would you
about
sugarcoat
what I
things?
say to strangers?
do you
No.
treat strangers and friends when it comes to sugarcoat levels?
He's like,
Too.
He just like no.
I repeat the question. He's just like, nope.
Okay.
So yeah, there's your answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not to like. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just telling you what I think, and sometimes that can come off as mean or inconsiderate, but that's not my problem.
Oh,
It's
then
not
we're
your
the same.
problem to friends or non-friends.
Either or, yeah. If I will tell you what I think and what I see, and if
'Cause-
you don't like it because of the way how I said it, then that sucks for you. I'm not gonna apologize because you got offended by something that I said where I believe is right.
Okay. So, friendship or not, that's just how you are always when it's a perception thing, when it has something to do with your perspective.
I think it's worse when I don't know you as a friend, because then I really don't give a, you know.
Yeah. And
Like-
plus they don't know.
I know you guys. Yeah, I know you guys well enough to, I guess, know your trigger points. Like, I'm not gonna do that on purpose. You know what I mean? Unless I'm having like a really bad day and I just feel like fighting. But like,
So-
I won't do that. But with a stranger, I don't know them enough, so I don't care.
Right. And they probably don't care either.
Yeah.
They're just, well, that's broken. But because it's a friend listening to you, or let's say you have an opinion and your friend's listening, you say it in a way that they're not totally cool with. Is it because they're your friend you don't worry that, I guess he doesn't even care about forgiveness or anything there, because he just, it's just your
So,
opinion. And
hold on. You asked DayDay, does he treat people differently if they come into conflict with him? So, like, DayDay, you just mentioned that trigger points of certain people, so you would kind of cater your response to that person in that situation. Whereas with somebody you don't know, you would just go ahead, be like, here are my thoughts. I don't care what you think about my thoughts.
Like,
So to me, that says you're not to say you wouldn't be treating them differently. Like you're
of course.
in
Yeah.
your, okay. So then, yeah, we are different then.
Well, I wouldn't. I know with some of you, like, if I say things in a certain way, then you're not gonna like take it the way I said it. So I wouldn't say it that way. You know?
not true.
Okay, you're different. You're. I'm saying like with most of you, I guess, But if it's somebody that I just met, or if it's like a coworker who I don't really care, then, like, for example, like if I this happened like at work. Like, someone was like, they were really happy that they got like new pairs of like shirt or something, and I was like, you paid money for that? And then they got super offended. I just thought it was a really crappy shirt, and I was just expressing that, and then they got so mad at me. And then I was just like, well, I'm sorry, I don't think it's a good shirt, and I don't know. And then yeah, I guess maybe.
Well, you weren't
I
actually
should've-
sorry though. You weren't actually
No,
sorry.
I was. I said
Yeah.
sorry anyway because they're my coworkers, and then I have to see them for the rest of whatever, and I'm not gonna,
Exposed.
So anyway,
You just had to say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way."
yeah, I said that. I'm
worst.
sorry. I'm sorry you took it offensively.
Yes.
And then
That's
they
all.
just, I don't know. They just, yeah. But with you guys, like, I would just choose not to say anything if I thought the same way. I wouldn't purposely go and tell you I think that is, that shirt looks like crap, because then, I don't know. I care about you more than whoever that was.
I thought you would just say it, and then we'd all laugh anyway.
I swear I've heard you say it before.
I
paid
think
money
it's
for
also
that?
the change of job too.
No, he just says it differently. So if I were to be like, "Oh yeah, I got a new shirt," Data would just be like, "Cool."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's his way of saying, yeah, that just sucks.
Where
Yeah.
you said you're different.
Yeah, no, you would get exactly what I'm thinking. I think we've talked about how I might say things in a diplomatic form, in that it's kind of tactical, such that I'm not trying to offend anyone. It'd be more in the sense of making you think about what, like, if I'm in conflict with anybody, I'm going to make sure that I understand my side. I'm going to get an understanding of their side, and then express my thoughts. I think whether it's friend or whether it's not friend, I think everything should be left on the table so that everyone can figure out what the issue is, and then find that common understanding or find that common misunderstanding, because that's where most conflict stems from.
I would agree with that. Because I think it's yeah, I think it's diplomatic in a way that you just want the other person to understand what you're saying. So you might word it differently, not because you don't want to hurt feelings. It's just because you want to get the point across to that person in a way that they'll hear what you're saying, type thing. Like,
That's not what I'm trying to
understand.
say.
You know what? I have an objection.
No,
But there's
you
a
get me.
difference between. If you're saying though, depending on who you're talking to, you could say it differently. That takes a level of like trying to understand the other person is different from someone else, anybody else. So it's not just being tactful, or are you actually filtering? It's not
For me,
filter,
it's
but
not-
the
not
words
like
you're choosing, the
filtering
way
out,
you
it's-
deliver, the timing, any of that come into play?
Yeah, I mean, I would choose how I communicate differently, but the fact that they're my friends has no bearing on that thought process. Because they're my friends, I would understand how to deliver it better.
Yeah.
Because you
But
know
it's
them
just-
more.
It's
You
like
know them
natural.
better.
You don't
but-
like think, oh, I gotta say it like this.
Yeah,
to-
like if,
yeah.
if it's just some random person that I have a conflict with and I have to address it, I would still go through the same process of thought. What's the best way for me to get this person to understand what I'm saying so that we can either come to a resolution or some sort of you know, some sort of um, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Resolution?
Resolution to our confrontation. Thank you.
Yeah. I like
Essentially,
that.
for
What's
me-
the best? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, essentially for me, like, friends are not friend. If there's a conflict, the intent is to resolve it by making sure that understanding is there.
I
So-
disagree with that, but okay.
Okay, why?
I don't even put in the effort to resolve it if it's somebody I don't know really. Like if it's an acquaintances and they get into conflict and they don't like what I say, or we disagree on something, then I just let it be. I don't
I'm
put
thinking
in the
more
time
things.
and effort to like
Yeah.
Right.
Huh?
I think it's more of a conflict that you have with someone because you have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's already on
Oh,
the
right,
it's already
yeah.
in your face kind of.
If it's like someone that I'm never ever gonna see again, then I don't. What's the point?
like
of
road
that?
rage.
I guess me saying sorry to my coworker about that thing. That's kind of like
Yeah.
got it. Okay,
That was your quickest resolution.
Yeah.
it was.
I'm going to apologize because I
Alright.
don't want to deal with explaining my personality to this guy.
Yeah. Kyle, you had,
Sorry you feel that way.
input?
Your shirt is cool.
Sorry, what?
You had input to respond to
I'm
any of
wondering,
those?
is this comparing conflict resolution between friends and then not friends? Is
Yes.
that what we're?
Yes. If there's a
Oh.
difference. Like I can see that some people might, because you hear it all the time. I think maybe it's more on what people display on social media, or maybe it's a movie thing. But they're like, "Oh yeah, me and my best friend, we fight all the time, but we, that fight aspect with a best friend or a sister or someone who's really close." But somehow but we understand each other. We know where we're coming from. And there's always like, there's forgiveness. It's going to get to a point where you're going to be okay again. Like you expect that to be okay again. Even if you're going through some really big fight, somehow these people will not hold back, say mean and hurtful things or something. but understand that because their friendship is so well established, they're gonna be okay. So they don't take that liberty to filter or to be more tactful with their best friend or their sister or whatever that is, their brother. I don't think any of us do that. I think
Well, it's hard for me to give input because luckily for me, I haven't really dealt with a whole lot of conflict, especially with friends. So I'm trying to see, for me, generally the big thing is to keep the whole situation calm. Because when I picture some conflicts in my head, they were like, I'm in a car with two people. One of them is driving, one of them is in the back, and then they start fighting while driving on a hill, and then the car starts rolling back on the hill. Like this, what do I do? In the meantime, I'm trying to keep them calm. They explode, and it's all damage control more like. And then after a person's front gate gets destroyed and a car ends up in a bush, and then I have to deal with people coming out saying that they're gonna call the police, and my husband's gonna come, and this guy's dead, and all I could think of was like, wow, how do I calm these people down? Like, I don't have many things that was so crazy, and I mean, I stayed calm through the whole thing, and I think that's so I got the one lady who was saying people are gonna die and everything. I got her at the end to basically say thank you to me and say you're a good you're a good kid, and she thanked me at the end of it, and so I think from that my conflict resolution has been pretty good, and I think reflecting on it, I was just able to stay calm and try to see both sides. And
Oh, dude does not agree.
yeah.
But did that feel like your conflict though, or you were just present with someone else's?
Well, to them, I'm in the car. Like I'm part of the bad party, right? So I just happen to be the one that wasn't in a fight, because the two people in the fight, they immediately like left the car and just sat there with their head in their hand. So funny. Yeah, and basically, from my side, I was doing everything from our end, from our party, and then I had to just damage control the whole thing. So would it be different with friends? See, like that's what I'm saying. Like, how would this even happen with friends? But
I was gonna say, define conflict, and
Yeah.
especially define conflict among friends.
yeah,
Like, I think the only time I'd ever feel like there's some sort of conflict among us, like, I think the only thing that would ever really trigger me is if I had like a girlfriend or a wife and one of you boned her. I think it'd have
Whoa,
to be
what?
at that level.
that's
That would
How did
be
I come
like
back to?
one of the few things that would actually trigger me into some form of conflict with you.
Right. Infidelity, cheating. I get. Yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, when we talk about like different opinions on different topics, like that's just healthy conversation every so often. It's just something to like stimulate your brain. It's not like conflict. We have like there's plenty of arguments and like debates over like our WhatsApp chat, but otherwise like that's just healthy conversation. That's just mind stimulation.
yeah, I'm having a
Well,
hard time thinking of conflict in friends.
it could be an example I can think of is, let's say, maybe not a disagreement with you directly, Warren or Kyle, but you have two friends.
More exposed.
Well, I can think of an example between me and you, War, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, it helps because if it's us, it works out.
Okay. I said things that placed your friendships with other people under judgment. I judged certain people, but those certain people were very close to you. And it was enough for you to voice to me that you didn't like what I said.
What?
Fuck, when was this?
Okay, do the Kyle example because I don't remember that either.
Oh, with Kyle? Well, I just
Wait,
immediately thought about Warren, but
Is this like a hypothetical or did this actually happen?
it happened.
Oh no.
It's okay. I learned from it.
When
I
did that
needed
happen?
to. I had to know my place. I'll just say it.
Was this recent?
No, you were here,
Oh.
but not the last time you were here. It was like maybe 2 or 3 times before.
Oh, was this a Ray and Nina thing?
Yes.
Oh.
DayDay actually overheard one of the things I said.
I did.
Apparently,
No,
you
I
guys
didn't.
had a moment where you looked at each other. You're like, "Did you just say that?"
I don't remember this.
It's okay.
Neither do I. I'm just totally guessing.
Oh, what? No, Dan? Yeah, you're not muted. You're definitely not muted.
Is
I
he
muted
trolling us?
DayDay when he was gone from his seat because of Hodu, but
He'll fix
Is
that.
Dan trolling us?
I unmuted.
He shook his head no.
He's so
Dan, say something. Yeah, you might have.
Did you pull your mic out?
Yeah, we don't hear you. Change. Maybe the thing swapped, like the input output,
maybe just
Does
hang
that-
up, come back.
or that. Yeah.
Did you try
Your
turning it
piece-
off and on again?
Tried that.
Well, I mean, if anything, like it sounds like I did deal with it and I brought it up to you.
I
At
mean,
some
but I'm
point.
just saying that was conflict, though. I'm just saying like
Oh, okay, good.
that was a conflict between us, and it was dealt with swiftly. You know, like
Okay, good.
nothing
Oh, why
wrong
is
with how
there-
it was dealt. I'm just saying that that's another example of conflict
Okay.
where something
Good.
came up where you didn't like something that I said and you told me about it.
Oh, good. Good job, Past Warren.
I do think though the advantage of conflict resolution with friends is the knowledge about that person. Like you kind of know. Yeah, is his frame going? Say something. I don't even hear you. Okay,
It
it's the
works
same.
if I change it to push to talk. Can you hear me?
Oh,
What
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hell is
what
that
about-
beeping?
It's like. "Geek."
Yeah, it's like a
Oh.
ringing.
I think it's using a wrong device. Did you check? Did you check the device?
No, it's on my webcam.
Ooh.
Oh my
I'll be back.
gosh, stop. Don't talk, Dan. Don't talk ever again. Just pull up things when we tell you to. Unplug your device and plug it back in.
Yeah.
Or plug it into a different slot. If it's a USB device, go find another USB, stick it in another
just-
hole.
Or join with your phone. That works too.
Video with your cam and then
Yeah.
audio with your phone.
Technical
Oh, no.
difficulties.
Odd how that would happen. See, right now he's muted, so I guess you'll.
He's trying to change stuff, I guess, right now.
Anyway, so
Yeah, back to it.
I can see that advantage of like if you get into any kind of conflict with a friend, it's a little I'd feel a lot more comfortable dealing with it because I feel like I don't have to worry about how you would feel
Mhm.
during the conflict because you know it's in good intent. You
Mhm.
know it's not like an attack on you because obviously with a friendship among us we want to like savor it, right? Now with somebody completely random, you already run the risk of is this person going to hate me forever for saying this?
Mhm.
Am I setting a bad example or coming off with a bad impression? I think there's a little more pressure with somebody that you don't know. I think that's where DayDay's cool about it, because if you
don't
don't
care.
have that, exactly, if you don't care, you don't have to deal with that pressure.
Yeah. I think, well, I not to say that, you know, DayDay's practice there I would adopt. I don't agree with that process. I think I've learned to value the whole empathy thing more, where it could be a more effective conflict resolution to try and understand where the other person's coming from and position the response in a way that once you know where that other person's coming from, yeah, you say it in a way that kind of that they would see it better. You know, it's not completely like, this is what I think and how I want to say it. This is who I am. Here it is. I've started to really try to be like, okay, this is what I want to say, but how I would usually say it may not really be received well by this other person. So I'm going to try to think about where this other person's coming from first, so that I can say what I think in a way that they can not necessarily support it, but understand it better. Does that make sense?
They would accept it constructively rather than getting defensive about it.
Yes, taking it personally, thinking it's an attack, thinking it's just because I don't value their opinion. You know what I mean? I've had to learn how to do that better, because I was very judgy, and I still am very judgy, but now I can still be empathetic but judgy. And timing is such, I realize too, because personally too, like sometimes I'm not ready. Maybe I may not be ready to be critiqued, or that person might not be in the best state to be critiqued, or yeah. Constructive criticism isn't just saying the right thing when you want to say it. It's also saying the right thing at the right time. I think. That's an opinion. I'm not saying it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, I think there's other opinions where, because that's thinking about the receiving side of that criticism, whereas the person that has thoughts, that wants to provide you with the feedback, maybe they're in the right state of mind to want to give it at that time rather than hold on to it because they're, no. I mean, there's two sides to that as well.
yeah, I've been on that side too, where it's like understanding that this is probably the opportune time for this other person to give this critique. So you take it, even though you may not be ready.
Listen to me now.
You just take it.
I think I can relate to this constructive criticism topic. Would that, so you would say that's conflict? If you wanted to give some constructive criticism, that is conflict?
I think it turns into conflict if the receiving party just takes it personally. I think that's where it turns into conflict.
Yeah, the difficulty is not to take things personally, but sometimes it's harder than others.
Right. So if you're the giver of the constructive criticism, you're running a risk of it being at the wrong time. Plus, you may not say it the right way. I do have a recent example. So I play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I play a Fury Warrior. There's another Fury Warrior in our guild, in our raid, and I try really hard to do well. My job is damage, and so I make a log. Well, the log is made automatically, but I post these logs up, and I can look at how I do in terms of performance in a numerical way. And what's tough is if there's someone else there who may not perform as well, you can see it, like it's blatant in numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stats.
And so I went to my raid leader and I'm like, hey, so like I want to help this person get better. But I'm scared because I don't want to just come up to him and be like, yo, dude, can I help you get better? Because, You know, I
Right,
have
right.
no idea how to approach him and be like,
Right.
so like your numbers suck, and I want to help you get better. Even though it's all in good faith, like it's not to knock him down at all. I just want to help him get better at the game, at his role in the game. And I've known this guy for years and years. Like he left and he came back. So I almost know that he wouldn't take offense, but I don't want him to be like so offended and he feels he's not doing a good job, so then he stops raiding with us. Like I'd feel very bad. In the end, I didn't say anything, so I avoided the risk of this conflict,
Potential conflict. Yeah.
potential conflict. But it's very interesting because I wanted to give him constructive criticism. I wanted to see like down to spell priority. Like I can tell he's hitting this spell way more times than I am, and that spell sucks. It doesn't do much damage, and he's not hitting this spell. You know what I mean? Like I could break it down just by looking at what he's doing, and I could tell there's differences in gameplay.
Does he
But
feel
I
like a
was-
friend? He's a friend.
No, he's like a guildie that I've known for a long time. I've raided with it for a long time, but
Tier 1.
yeah, like maybe
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 tier 2.
0.5. Maybe
Oh,
0.5.
less than 1.
Yeah, because he's just like a guild, like
Okay.
he's just a guildie, like yeah. Very, very, very interesting to think about that because I basically ran from the situation because it's a game for one. We are a very casual guild. I am one of like 3 people who try really hard in our guild. So like, so in the end, I was like, you know what, whatever. Let him do his thing, and I mean, he got better. He's doing better, but on his own without me saying anything. So that's good.
Dan, you want to say something?
Oh, I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
I just want to make sure we could hear you. That's
Oh,
all.
okay, yeah, no, I'm good. My window came up.
So what do you think happened?
No idea.
Oh,
I just restarted everything.
the good old reboot.
The example we just went over was the intent of constructive criticism, but taking a risk that if it was delivered at the wrong time, it could produce conflict or introduce conflict. So it's
Forecasting
like
conflict.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it. Cause I think most people view confrontation as a with a negative connotation,
Mhm.
and you know the only way to get better is to, like, you got to know, and that's, you know, whether you're trying to build a relationship, build a friendship, or just help someone out. I think if the intention is there to resolve something, then I don't see anything wrong with confrontation. If it doesn't move forward, it doesn't move forward. It's like,
So
the
that
whole-
constructive criticism, let's say for Kyle's example, was efficiency in his actions in a raid, right? There's actual like documented actions per player, and he can make comparisons with a more proficient player versus this person that he wants to constructively criticize. And as you're saying, this is an opportunity to make that person better, so you would do it. But again, tactfulness comes into play. Not necessarily filter, but you choose words strategically. Not that you suck. Be like, you know, you could do this better. It's just the same thing, but it's a different choice of words type of thing. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
In my case, again, it's really hard because you don't want to tell a casual player who is in a casual guild to do better. It's like
Or,
that's why I
I mean-
basically put it on my raid leader.
Would you take it as an opportunity to ask rather than tell? Be like, hey,
I would-
would you
I
like
would
to
ask.
improve your gameplay?
Yeah.
You know, like,
I would ask. Like
Yeah.
I would love for him, because what happened years ago was one of our other good friends. Like this one is an actual friend. When we first met him, he was Fury as well, and I came in on my alt Fury warrior because my main was a mage, so I played a mage with these crazy hardcore people, and then I would raid again with these friends with my other character, and so I came in and I owned him, right? Like, and he came up to me after the raid and was like, "Dude, how the hell do you do so much damage? Like, our gear is kind of comparable. How are you doing this?" See, I like that. You come to me and I'm like, "Oh, dude," and so now I get all pumped up. I go teacher mode on him, and then I make him really good. And I love that kind of thing. I don't like any situation where I come off as some elitist jerk, which is a gamer term. Like, I do not want to be an elitist jerk. So that's basically why I avoided that whole situation. I feel like we could build some comparisons, parallelisms with hip hop. I feel, but
Yeah, you could if people wanna.
but
Like,
again,
I've
you know, there's
had people come up and ask, like, "Hey, like, you know, do you have tips on becoming better, or like, you know, how do you learn so fast, or how do you, you know?" I think you can make comparisons.
but then there's about you approaching a dancer who's not even on the ouch team. They're just coming to the club and just chilling, and you want them to be better. Are you gonna go up to that person? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to
Yeah,
draw
I think it,
a similar thing that what we would possibly encounter back in UW hip hop.
Oh, me
the
and
only
DayDay
time
faced
I
this.
would is if you, like, let's say I wanted someone to maybe not do the ouch team, but I wanted them to be in a performance, and I'd be like, "Hey, like, you know, like, I know you don't come out, and I don't know if this is like just a every Tuesday, Thursday thing for you, but like we have a performance, and you know, I want you to come out." And then judging on that, on their response, I would then lead into the next part. As if, "Hey, like, you're gonna do this performance, here's some things that like might help, or I think would benefit like your dance career, you know, make you better." Or that's just you'd have to like read the situation first. Like, I could definitely understand if the guy's just a casual player, then, you know,
This
you have
this
to
reminds
ask the question first.
So that example, or what Kyle was talking about with the whole how do you tell a casual gamer to do better? This reminds me of when DayDay, do you remember setting up the competition team that went to CVDC, where Lenny Len was a judge, and we had a team with no auditions?
What?
Do you
I
remember
think you guys all wore
performing?
purple, right?
We all wore purple. We did the whole thing behind the curtains. Were you part of that one, or was Mike part of that one?
I remember
I
that.
think no, I didn't go. I don't think. I was
Okay.
there.
So that was a year where we had a competitive team without any auditions, just to, you know, give everyone a chance to perform as well as compete and have that same kind of pressure. And I think the only way to tell people to get better is to have them buy in and commit to the team.
Mm.
In which case, if they really committed and if they were going to be responsible for how they danced on stage, then it would be up to some of the leaders to instill in them that you have to get good. You bought into this, you committed to it. This is how you get a casual person to do better.
Yeah.
Monetary investment.
Not yeah, nice.
Not even that. I
No.
think when they feel that sense of like
Accountability.
responsibility and accountability, yeah, like
Yeah.
they have to put something out there that's
Yeah.
just a little more than I'm doing this casually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was cool for me to do, or at least try and give that chance of performance without the audition. Obviously, there were still outs. There were still other things that required an audition because we did want to, you know, show face as a club. But in that situation where it was your typical casual dancers looking for a taste of competition, then yeah, once they've bought into it, once they've more or less shown that they're going to take on the responsibility, it was up to the leaders to make sure that they know what they got themselves into. There wasn't any chance that anyone was going to be like, "Oh, it's okay. They're not doing that move right. We'll just let it slide." No. They're going to be held to a certain standard, and they're going to make sure they fulfill their duty that they signed up to fulfill.
So that would be in parallel to me. You're showing up to our raid like we want to kill these bosses.
Mhm.
Like
You want to succeed, yeah.
we have as you said, a level of, what do you say? Shit.
Accountability.
There's a standard. There's that
standard,
accountability
yeah.
on the person. Yeah. So I think in that
It's
situation
similar.
with you, you'd have to be able to present it to them in a way where it's like, as opposed to being like, you should do this. I would pose it as a question. Have you ever considered trying this order of spells?
Yeah. Well, I would approach more like with questions about how they feel about how they're doing. And then if they come back and it's like, hey, yeah, I know, and I'm hoping that they would come back and say, yeah, well, I'm having some trouble. I don't know exactly where to stand or where to move to, and my priorities kind of off. So I'll try to like throw them a question in hopes that I could maybe see what topic to attack. I shouldn't say attack, but
No. That makes sense. Because now
I
we're
think
getting
the
into
hard
the
thing-
situation.
Yeah. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say we're getting into the situation of understanding who your audience is. Like once you know who your audience is, you know how to approach them. Because like with a friend group like ours, I could be like, "Yo, DayDay, that was a crap play." You know why? Right? Like DayDay would say the same thing to me. Like, "Why did you make mutas there? That was a dumb idea." Had it been somebody else, I think the intent would be provide a question to minimize the amount of conflict if you don't know that person. Like you're gonna find a different way to portray the same thoughts that you truly feel passionate about. You're gonna still convey the same message, but in a format that will mitigate the amount of damage that you'll do to them in terms of, or mitigate the chance of any personal offense being taken.
yeah, exactly. Like never would I want to say in this situation, hey, look how good I'm doing and look how bad you are. Like nowhere in that conversation will I bring that up. It would have to be, how do you feel? You know, are you enjoying it? How, kind of like a boss kind of thing. Like what team leaders have to do, what teachers have to do a lot. And
I wouldn't even see it as a leadership kind of thing in that situation. I would want to treat it more so like a friendly conversation. I think once you start drawing a line of like boss, leader, senpai, like it's
well, for me, I am a very friendly boss. I'm a very friendly teacher. That's just the way how I would approach
fair enough.
teaching a class or being a boss. But that's just a personality difference. But I think we both would come at the problem the same way.
Yeah. No,
Very neutral. Throw questions out there and you try to gauge the feedback, and then hopefully that leads into a positive talk and no conflict at all.
Yeah, I would say the only hard part about that is if the person isn't seeking growth,
Right.
then it could just backfire and be like, yo, like, how did you feel about this? Good.
Awesome. I think I did great.
Now I
Then
can't
you
go
gotta
any
know.
further.
But then
Yeah.
that's info too. That tells me to stop chasing.
Yeah.
This person is having a good time in our casual guild. He kind of sucks, but like whatever.
That's
It's
what
like,
he
you know
gets
what,
out
dude?
of, yeah.
You are doing awesome. Keep having fun. I'll see you next week. Peace. That's what I would do.
Leaves the guild.
Same thing with hip hop too. If you were doing something with hip hop, are you having fun? Or, like, yeah, I'm having fun. And then maybe if they keep screwing up or something, and they're not good enough to be a performer, then maybe, if they can't reach the standard that Warren brought up, like maybe they just can't perform. They come to the club, they have fun with everybody. Just sit this one out. I hope you don't mind, kind of thing.
Yo, you ready for this? You ready for this flashback?
Just put him towards the back.
You guys.
Oh wait, I do know who you're referring to.
Yeah,
Yes, I do know.
Oh,
I wasn't even there,
right,
and I know who you're referring to.
I remember we were all there. We were all just like,
What was that?
DayDay doesn't remember.
oh, Dave.
I wasn't even there, but I know.
But
I
that's,
heard
I
about
think
it.
that was the other thing the point that I want to allude to was when Kyle, you mentioned, yeah, I would bring this up to the raid leader, or Warren would say, now it's up to the leaders to have that conversation, that confrontation. I think that's a very important part of it. Especially if you have that leadership role, or people, not even a leader, but people will view you to have those types of conversations.
Yeah.
Then that is your duty to have that confrontation. So
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of conflict resolution went in if you were a president of Youth of Hip Hop and something came up, some drama between, let's say, two execs. You would probably have to be the mediator as a pres.
Mediator.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I luckily I did not have to do that, but
Oh man. Oh my god.
so
Were you
War,
pres
were-
during that
you were
time?
pres when
That was
Oh.
instant, like.
That's was that person pres?
That person was Prez, yeah.
See, that sucks. That's a
Yeah.
terrible situation.
I mean, that's
was-
unfortunate.
It was an
That's-
immediate, like.
It came from a good place.
It came from a good
That's-
place,
that's
but
true.
yeah,
it was
but you
the
had to
wrong
know. You had to
crowd.
know. You had to know that individual to understand that. But if you didn't know who that individual was, kind of outside of that role, it could have been bad. It could have,
You
could
know
have lost
who would
members.
thumbs up that?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay, we're gonna. If you guys don't mind, anyone want to add to any of
I
that?
still don't know who it is.
It's okay.
That's
We'll
okay.
talk
I
about
got
that
you.
after.
That's okay. Within this circle, are you guys? I think I had this conversation with Dan not too long ago, but do you still feel that there's a level of tactfulness among each other in this circle, or do you feel like we're all unfiltered now? No holds bar, no hold back.
From my point of view, I am not. I am just me. Like I am not choosing how I say things. I just talk. I'm at that point with a lot of people. More because I think as you get older, as you mature, you stop thinking too much about
What other people
these,
think?
these other. Yeah, like I just don't care anymore. I used to want to please everybody when I was maybe in high school, and from that, a slow, gradual transformation to who I am now is like. Yeah.
And that holds true too with your friends and your close friends and family.
I would think so. Like how I am? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember one time I would be a different person with my Canadian friends as I am with my Trini friends. And even within high school, I would be a different person with my normal friends and with my black friends and with my Chinese friends and with my mathy friends. And then at one point I was just like towards the end of high school, like the last 2 years of high school, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I trying to please everybody? Like I would always try to say something that makes them laugh or makes them like me, even if it really wasn't part of who I am. I would just do it. I would just say it just for them to like me. And then by the time I hit university, it was more of a transformation away from that totally to like, man, I don't care at all about what anybody thinks. And I'm just me, man. So you like me or you don't.
And I think that's a social development thing and a maturity thing. Like,
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
like people just kind of go through that, and they want that approval of everybody. So that I think everyone goes through that.
What's
I worry
maturity?
for the kids now.
Any input there? Anyone else?
I don't have a maturity.
For me, like I said, if there's an issue between any one of us, I would still treat it the same. Like if I know I have to talk to one of you, then we'll have that conversation, or I'll send a message, but I'll still go through the same process as I would with any type of big or small conflict.
Well, I'll bring up a thing that could be conflict. Our recent trip, right? There was a major event,
Mhm.
and there was
Which
a lot
one?
of the one involving you
No, I know, but which one?
Which one?
The most recent one. Just the whole thing. The whole thing.
Okay.
You
A
know
collective.
that is, that was a conflict that we tried to talk to you. We approached you,
Oh, that. Okay, gotcha.
and we had these serious talks, but we it was definitely something that we had to do, like, as friends. You come, you bring it, you put it on the table, and let the cards fall. And I think that's what good friends do anyway. Like, there's no hesitation. Look, this, hey guys, hey, this is an issue. Let's go deal with it. And we tried. We tried to deal with it as best we could.
Right. To add to that first question, with this, no tactfulness with this group, just because we've all kind of matured into understanding that we are who we are, we're proud of who we are, we're going to be who we are to each other, with no fear of not being accepted in this brotherhood. Yeah? Or is there still a fear of losing each other at all? Does anyone still have any kind of fear that, of losing this?
No, I think we're at a point where we can have those confrontations, those conversations, not thinking about that. Could that happen? Sure it could, but I think if we're worried about that, that's kind of the wrong approach to have. If it's gonna split, it's gonna split. But I mean, I think it doesn't split just because we can have those conversations type thing. I don't think we should. I don't think we should worry. I mean, I know when we're talking about the whole disagreements, I don't think there's anything wrong with all of us having different opinions on things and having different viewpoints. It's just a matter of, okay, this is how I see it, this is how you see it, and we can respect that. And it's an agree to disagree. It shouldn't have an effect on the bond that we have, but if for whatever reason it does, then
Just because we have arguments or conflicts, I know, worst case scenario, you're gonna agree to disagree and then move on. I'm not worried about saying something because I think, oh my god, I'm gonna lose you as a friend. It's beyond that point. It's
Oh, yeah.
So,
But we had to get here. I definitely can recall times where, not that I was afraid to lose you guys, but there were earlier in the relationship, in this circle, where I felt like maybe I'm not really meant to be in this group, or maybe they might view me differently because they've established something before I've been in here, or something like that. Right. I've graduated from that. It's still a progress, just because I'm very self-critical anyway. I think it stems from how I view myself, or how I feel like I can be forgiving of others, but I never forget. But I'm probably at least forgiving with myself. So I'm most critical of myself. So that's one of my struggles, I think, or inner struggles.
there was a period of time where I was kind of like that, and I was like, maybe I should just change how I say things.
You mentioned
Don't go on changing.
That was a really rough. That was like the longest 3 days of my life.
Oh man,
Sad.
you're the best. But yeah, I think, and that's how I would look at the friendship. If it takes one conflict to completely dissipate the friendship, then we were never close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you have the conflict because, not because you want to, but because it's necessary. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, conflict is growth. That's how I see it.
And on that note, we'll be back next week. Well, yeah. I mean, it's 2.5 hours almost. Yeah.
Sweet. I made it.
Choi, yeah.
Yes, you did. Oh, Gung Hai Fetcho. Hey, see.
See? See, see? Bueno.
Bueno. But yeah, definitely happy to see you here, Kyle. Thank you for joining us this time with the
Thanks for having
webcam.
me.
And
Be
it's
here.
cool always to look back at. I feel like we could always revisit the whole development of this Brack, group, brotherhood. It's nice. Yeah, we kind of just touched on. Well, it's good. It's good. Good length. Good length of content there. But just for the sake of time, people got work tomorrow. People need some sleep. We're gonna finish it off here. Thanks, guys, for joining us in the chat. The viewers who came out today and whoever wants to watch this later.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Tita. We'll be back next Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern with whatever next topic we come up with. But hopefully you found this helpful learning opportunity for you guys too. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Peace.
So Dan, about the Holocaust.
Oh, let me show everybody's thanks for watching thing here.